Welcome to season 1 of the Resilient Dad Show. When I became a single dad and had to navigate social parenting issues and the complexity of the family legal system, I felt confused and alone with nowhere to turn. That's why I've created the Resilient Dad Show, a place that I so badly needed and wish had been available during the grueling and challenging times of working through my own experience. This show will feature industry experts in mental health, social services, and personal development, along with resilient dad role models whose stories of overcoming the challenges of co-parenting will create a new vision for the life you and your kids deserve. If you have any questions or want to suggest a future guest on the show, please visit resilientdad.fm for more information. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Resilient Dad Show. Today, we're going to be speaking with our guest, Chris Decker, about his journey and my journey on the 75 Hard Challenge. We're nearly reached our halfway mark, and we're going to be sharing some of our discoveries and insights over the last 30-odd days. Chris, thank you for coming on the show again.
Hey, Pat, I have to really I have a lot of gratitude for you inviting me onto this 75 Hard Challenge. I will admit it, the first few weeks were extremely challenging, but now I'm starting to really experience the benefits and understand the transformation truly. So I have a lot of gratitude. Thank you.
And thank you for joining me on the journey, because I know it's made it a lot easier for me having that support and receiving your daily messages of you completing the day. So thank you. And what's been some of the greatest insights that you've had, whether in terms of physically, mentally, in terms of your relationships outside? What have been the biggest insights so far?
Initially, the hardest part was the diet that I chose, which is basically a paleo diet, which I went through a big physical transformation, my body getting used to not having sugar or processed carbohydrates. And I started to notice that different times throughout the day when I would seek food to kind of like comfort myself when things got stressful, I would go buy a donut or get a pastry down at the coffee shop. Yeah. And now I haven't had the opportunity to do that. And I'm now needing to find different ways to cope with the regular stresses of life. But at the same time, ramping up my exercise and activity levels to twice per day has given me these windows of opportunity. Number one, to spend more time with my son and family. We do like nightly walks together. Or like on the weekends, for instance, he rode around on his scooter and I walked the dog, or we'll go to the beach or kick around the soccer ball at the park. And then myself, I've tried a lot of new things. During this time, I've learned how to surf, and now I'm surfing about twice a week. Brand new skill development, started from absolute scratch. Today, I'm going with my friend to a rock climbing gym. I'm going to start to learn how to rock climb.
Cool.
And then the act of reading 10 pages a day, I've already gone through a couple of books in a relatively short amount of time. And I don't know about you, but when I actually finish a book, it's a major sense of accomplishment. So the insight is making the space and time for the repetition and the daily no excuses attitude has actually created a lot of forward progress and momentum.
So do you feel you actually investing in yourself, you've actually been able to give more to others because of the way that, you feel, because you've been taking care of yourself?
I've been really, I was initially hesitant. I'm like, wow, this is a lot of activity. How am I going to have time for it? I've not only found the time, but I've taken on a lot of additional projects because I found myself having more time somehow, which has been kind of strange. During this time, I also redesigned and redid my studio because I was I don't know. I've had more mental clarity and space to take on challenges.
And that's probably one of the things that I've noticed for me, that brain fog and that, clutter of, in terms of I've got to do this and this is going on. And for me, just having that time in the morning, especially, like, I love going to the gym at 1, 2 in the morning. I always bump into the cleaners and, we have a bit of a chat, but because for me, it's that perfect time where everyone's asleep. And as you were saying, like, I'm finding it that I actually have more time, more energy, because I'm taking care of myself, in terms of exercise and nutrition wise. Drinking 4.5 liters of water a day, you'd be amazed how much it actually quenches your hunger, and suppresses that need or that feeling. So instead of grabbing a donut, you just drink some water, and just creating those habits where I don't even desire anything like that. And I've also been able to change my mindset of looking at short things as a short-term solution, where I've kind of, I feel that, I've got the goal of 75 days, but this has become a part of my identity and in terms of who I actually love being, because I'm able to give more, like I'm spending more time with my kids and my wife, where before I couldn't possibly find the time, but now I've got more time to exercise and look after myself as well as to give to others. And so that's really cool that, in terms of how you're saying you're utilizing that commitment of exercise to also spend it with your family by going for family walks, where possibly you may not have even thought about going for family walks because you didn't have that need to get out there and do a 45-minute outdoor workout.
Right. And part of the next hurdle that I think I'm going to need to overcome is what happens afterward. Am I going to go back to pizza and donuts and sitting on the couch, or am I going to continue on with this same lifestyle adjustment moving forward? And can I do that outside of a challenge? Because I'm very receptive to challenges. I've never done a 75-day challenge. That seems bonkers that we're currently doing this. I've done 30 days, whatever. But I'm wondering, at the end of that 75 days, will I have the discipline to keep going? And I really hope that I do.
And I actually thought about this, this morning when I was at the gym, having, goals. Like, how many people do you know actually have some sort of goal? Doesn't matter how big or small it is, but something to aspire to either better themselves in some form or to achieve something. And that's something I've realized that in my life, every time that I've had a goal and a target, I've been able to commit and get there. But any time that I've been sort of half in, half out, that's where I've gone astray and, had those ups and downs with fluctuations in weight and so forth. So do you think maybe that is something that could contribute to us having that continuous motivation to continue the journey?
Initially, my goal was to not let you down because I committed to this because it sounded really interesting. And having that social pressure and dynamic of, well, I don't want to be the first person to quit. So out of being stubborn, I'm probably going to complete it. But at the same time, like the goal, having something to work toward, has been pulling me in a direction. So I think you're right, is that identifying the next goal that but I think it's the goal plus accountability. Like I don't think honestly I could have done this alone without your support. Whether like you're not really doing much, you're just replying to the email with the screenshot that I send you every day saying, "Good job, keep going." That's enough for the accountability. And so Yeah, there's goals, but I think where a lot of people miss is having some accountability, because it's way easier to do things with others than it is to do them alone.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's something I've noticed, that having that support does make the journey a lot easier. And if we can, why not make it easier, um, instead of making it harder? And, one of the things that for me recently, when you say about accountability, is when I see my boys in the morning, because now I'm working from home, that's something that always sets my day. I know they're coming in the morning, and it's always a constant reminder in terms of, another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that helps me to level up and stay to that commitment of, no, I'm not going to sway and, have that dessert in a moment of whether it's stress, or even if it's not stress, in terms of you see other people doing it. So yeah, it's definitely helped me to build that mental, resilience and toughness.
And I I know there's going to be a lot of people that may agree or disagree, but I'm only qualified to share my own experience. Is that when I was drinking, I was an awful person, and prior to stopping drinking, it's been 3.5 years. Prior to that journey, I thought, wow, if I stop drinking, that means I never get to drink again in my life. And the thought of losing drinking, losing this ability to have alcohol, for some reason was the thing that it's like, I don't know how I would live without that. But now this new relationship to food that I'm developing feels a lot like what it was like when I stopped drinking. I'm never going to drink again for the rest of my life. Is that, why do I need pizza? Why do I need a cheeseburger? Why do I think I need all these different kinds of foods? What if I simply committed to, for the rest of my life, eating a healthy diet so that I can be around longer? What if I was just willing to break up with pizza? Could I live the rest of my life without ever having another slice of pizza? And I think I'm getting closer to yes, because I simply care more about being healthy, and I'm getting there, than I do about potentially losing something. And I want to get over this mental barrier of thinking I need all these food crutches in order to live, because I don't. I don't need fried sugar and lard in the form of a donut. That it's effectively poison. So why would I possibly want to introduce that into my body again? This is what I'm currently going through. I don't know if I'm going to get to any substantial answers before the end of 75 Hard, but it at least started the conversation.
No, definitely. And that attachment and I found that when I've let go of that attachment of that fear of loss, I've actually felt like I've actually have more, because I'm not worried. Like I enjoy, what I have. And in terms of, if something's not there, then so be it. Like, but I'm finding myself being more present and enjoying more what I have than in terms of worrying about what I don't have. And I think that's something that, I wish that, especially in my younger days, because I think sometimes we identify ourselves with a certain materialistic object, or beliefs in terms of certain food or whatever it may be. But if we're able to have the ability to be just a little bit flexible in our mindset, who knows what we're able to discover, because it's a big world out there. So I want to thank you again for coming on, and you're looking amazing, and I can't believe that you've dropped 20 pounds, 9 kilos in the time. And
you too, man. You look totally different now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I feel it. And I guess that's just the byproduct, but the ability to have those deeper connections with the people that we have in our lives, and the energy to live a fulfilling life is, I believe it's the greatest takeaway from this journey so far. So thank you again for coming on. and joining me on this journey. And I look forward to day 75.